Hello guys. Today I'm going to be, I just unboxed my new Frisby USB game controller, um, and today I'm going to be doing a little review of it. I haven't plugged it in yet, so I'm just giving you a quick look here. First impressions, it looks and feels pretty good. The buttons feel nice and solid, and the analog sticks, they seem to be, they are pretty good, they feel nice. The shoulder buttons up here, they feel pretty nice too. Um, it's obviously very, very similar to a PlayStation controller, with the analog sticks here and the D-pad up here. Also the buttons here. So I will be back with you guys once I've tested it out a little bit, and I will tell you what I think. Alright guys, we are back, and I have tried out this controller a little bit, and I have my verdict on it. Um, out of From a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being unplayable, or returned to manufacturer because it's so bad, and 10 being awesome, I'd never buy something else. Um, I would probably have to give this a 5 or a 6 maybe. It's playable, but there are some definite defects to it. Number one, when it comes to mapping out the controls inside programs, when you set this analog stick as controls, it actually sets, I believe, up was set as button number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. The downside to that is these are also, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So what happens is you can't actually use this very much, at least in the programs I used, which was an NES emulator and an N64 emulator, one called 60force. And it wasn't as big of a deal because most emulators you're going to be using for this USB stick, if you're using it for emulators, um, aren't really going to need this second one all that much, especially now if you're using like NES or Super Nintendo or Genesis or whatever. Now, another defect there was this analog stick, which is big. This is the center analog stick. It's what you use if you're going to move around at an N64 or whatever you're emulating. The problem is the zone here. It's 8 direction, right? But there's no in between. Like there's right and up and northeast, whatever. But it just goes straight boom. So you tend to, when you're moving, you tend to move like very blocky, and you can't make fluid motions when you're playing, which is really difficult. Which is really it's a huge defect, and it really takes away from the control you have over the character. So I would keep that in mind when you're thinking about buying this controller. If you really want really fluid gameplay, I'm not sure you'd want to get this. I'm going to continue to use it because I feel like it's not, that's not that big of a deal, but it does take away from motion control that you have over your character. The D-pad that I used when playing in the NES thing was very good. I think it had very solid buttons and very solid control and everything, and press down. They felt well put together, and that's another thing. On the controller, it felt very well put together. The buttons seemed sturdy; they didn't feel like they were going to fall off, and these analog sticks do feel very good as well. These buttons, just like a PlayStation controller, are like a hard rubber, which is, I'm not a big fan of that, but yeah. So also, when you're in an emulator, these buttons, at least in the emulators I tried, actually didn't register. These top shoulder buttons, So, the L and R buttons. So I'm not sure if that goes through all emulators, but I'm warning you, they didn't register for mine. So, um, overall, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10, which isn't great, but it was only about $15 when I bought it off of Amazon, including shipping and everything. So it's a pretty, it's pretty cheap, and it's not going to be this $100 awesome game controller for $15. It's just not, and I wasn't expecting it to be. But that being said, keep in mind you sort of get what you pay for. So, um, yes. So if you want to, take those defects in mind and get it, it's definitely a playable controller. But that is my review, and I will see you guys next time. One more thing I forgot to mention, in case anybody is wondering about this who's watching, it is plug and play, very easy to plug and play. I didn't use the CD that came with it for the install for the Rumble feature because all the reviews I read online said that this CD actually had a sort of virus on it, and I'm not sure if that's still the case. But I didn't want to take that chance, and it didn't really make a difference to me for the Rumble feature. So it doesn't have any sort of Rumble feature, even though it's advertised, because I'm not going to be the one that takes the chance to put a virus on my computer. Also, in case anybody is into this circumstance, it does work on Mac. I tried it on Mac and I tried it on PC, and they're both compatible. So if you're wanting something cheap to use for a Mac, this would work as well. All right, that's all. See you guys next time.